welcome. Today we're starting a new segment here at the City of Brewton. We're going to do a spotlight on health issues periodically here, and today I have some of the superstars of the Brewton health scene, if you want to, and also some national renowned as well. So I have Dr. Rollerson here with us. And our first topic on the Spotlight show is going to be safe sleep. There's some statistics that are pretty alarming that Dr. Rollerson brought to my attention, and I'm going to let her tell you more about that topic, why it's a problem, and what we can do to try to make things better here. Dr. Rollerson?
Well, one of the things that we've learned in the last few months, that Alabama now has the highest newborn death rate in the first year of life in the nation. More than 9 babies die during their first year of life out of every 1,000 babies that are born in our state. And the shocking thing about that is, even though we know that extreme prematurity is often a cause of death and congenital problems such as severe heart disease, the number one cause of death of babies in the first year of life is unsafe sleeping.
Wow, that's a startling statistic. How does that compare just like with third world countries?
Well, actually, we have one of the highest death rates in the world, because many of the third world countries already practice safe sleeping.
Wow.
Most cultures put their babies on their back to sleep. We were
Right.
kind of unique in the fact that we were taught, unfortunately, years ago to put our babies on their stomach to sleep. And most babies around the world sleep on hard surfaces. They don't have fancy beddings and comforters and pillows around them when they sleep. So
Right.
our rate is actually higher than many undeveloped countries.
Well, Dr. Dan, I know you're the medical examiner here in the county, so I know you see a lot of this firsthand. Tell me some of the things that you've noticed here in Escambia County.
Well, we had a 12-month period last year and part of the year before where we had 5 deaths.
Wow.
Associated with problems of sleeping.
Wow.
Some had to do with co-sleeping. Some had to do with safe sleeping problems of babies prone when put to bed.
Wow. Well, tell me some things that we can do to try and make this a less of a problem for us. I know there are always proactive things we can do to help prevent.
One of the things is education, of course. I thought previously that was the number one problem. I no longer believe that, because in all of our hospitals in this area, we try to teach moms how to place their babies on their back. In fact, we now have what's called the ABCs of safe sleeping.
Right.
The A means alone, the B means on their back, and C means in an approved crib. The crib should have a tight-fitting mattress and a sheet that fits tightly. There should not be bumper pads, teddy bears, thick blankets, or comforters in the bed with the baby.
Why not?
Because the baby can get his face into those soft things. Even a cuddly teddy bear, the baby can get his face into that, into a bumper pad, rebreathe his own breath, and then his mind tells him not to breathe that anymore, and the baby stops breathing.
Wow. Astounding. And I know there are materials that are available at all our hospitals and probably the health department
Correct.
too, to try to educate people. So if we can get more people reading these and aware of it, that's probably another answer to the problem too.
Yes, we have a new book. It's called Sleep Baby Safe and Snug, that's going to be given to all our new moms for 2 reasons. First, to reinforce the education about safe sleeping, but also to encourage them to read to their baby from the very beginning. I'm going to read it to you real quick, and you may be able to use this. Tummy full, story read, yawn, stretch, time for bed. Warm in pajamas, lay me down, fresh, sleepy air all around. I love my crib both day and night. No pillows, no blankets, just me, just right. On my back, so much to see, moonbeams, faces smiling at me. My binky's calming, so's my thumb, a gentle touch, a soothing hum. Good night, Mom. Good night, Dad. Good night, Teddy Bear. Y'all sleep soundly over there. One more kiss and one more hug. I drift to sleep safe and snug. This book was written by a physician who lost his own child secondary to co-sleeping.
Wow.
And so he's made it available for us to give to every new mom. And on the back it says, "Help your baby sleep safe and snug." And he has the recommendations on the back.
Very good. Well, I appreciate it very much. Is there anything else that I haven't asked you about that you want to be sure that we tell people?
The other thing we need to emphasize, of course, is the co-sleeping
Right.
issue. Many of these deaths that I mentioned not only were associated with lots of covers and lots of things for babies to get tangled up with, but we had several in which the baby was obviously suffocated. Mothers breastfeeding, for example, in an easy chair. They go to sleep. The baby falls down to their side. When mom wakes up, she has a dead baby by her side. So the co-sleeping, along with all that we see here, is just tremendously important. That babies, as Marcia has said here, are in a sleeping situation by themselves, not with mom, not with dad, not with a chair, not in a chair, not on a couch, because all of those have been factors in these deaths over the years.
Right, and that's a simple thing to fix. I know every child that sleeps in an unsafe situation will not be the victim of a death, but if you're the parent for that one that is, that's almost, I don't understand how anyone can ever deal with that really emotionally the rest of their life. That would be something, a tragedy, be hard to overcome. All right, now tell me a little bit about how you came to be involved with this issue. What happened to you?
Well, our first child, his name was Drake.
How long ago was this?
This has been, he would have been 24 this year.
Mhm.
So it's been 24 years ago in May.
All right, tell me what happened. How did that morning start out?
Just like every other morning, I got up, got him ready, took him to the babysitter, and it was right after lunchtime. Somebody came and picked me up at work.
Right, and tell me what happened.
Well, she didn't really know, but she had laid him down for a nap, and she had him in a playpen with a quilt, and he was on his stomach, and she had thought he had choked, or, she didn't know, but it ended up, there was no reason for it.
Right, and they found him unresponsive there.
Unresponsive, called the ambulance, I met him at the hospital.
Right, and were you aware of the safety and safe sleeping issues at that time?
I think I was, because of course, they had just changed, don't put them on their stomach. But the babysitter, of course, her children were older, and when she had hers, that's how you laid them. You laid them on their tummy so they didn't choke or whatever, so.
Mhm. Right. Tell me what went through your mind when you first found out.
Oh gosh, everything, I don't know.
It's hard to believe, I would
Right,
imagine, when they first
absolutely.
come and tell you.
Because he was absolutely perfect, nothing, had not been sick, absolutely nothing made you think anything would
Nothing out of the
happen.
ordinary. So did they ever find out exactly maybe what had happened, or what did they tell you?
The only thing that, I struggled with an answer, and the only thing they could say, the only way they could explain it to me is with them on a quilted, soft something, with him on his tummy, he was breathing in the same air he had let out, which would be like carbon monoxide.
Eventually, the carbon
And,
dioxide builds up.
That's the only way I can explain it.
Right. How did you deal with that going forward? Was it difficult for you and your family? I know it has to have been
Yeah,
earth-shattering.
And of course, my other two children, I can't wake them up now because I think they learned to sleep with me touching at all times, or shake them.
Right.
Even to this day, I have my nieces, nephews, whatever. It's like I can't let them sleep.
Exactly. Tell me, what advice would you give for other parents who have young babies at home?
Well, absolutely don't sleep them on their tummies, you know. It might be more comforting for a minute or easier for them to go to sleep, but they can learn to sleep on their back,
Exactly.
you know.
And in this case, it wasn't actually you, it was someone else, and like
Right.
your caregivers,
Right.
it's an
you
important
know-
conversation to have with caregivers too.
Right. Well, I've heard them say, I've tried to tell people and they'll say, oh, mine's always slept, on their tummies or, which my mother was the same way. We did too, but it just takes that one time.
Exactly.
It doesn't do it to all of them, but
If
it
it's the
could
one,
happen.
if it's your child, that's the only one that matters. All right, well, thank you so much, Amy. Appreciate you being with us.
All right.
And Lizzie, we're here talking about incident in your life. Can you tell me a little bit about what this is all about?
My son, Gabriel Alexander Kennedy, he passed away on July 23rd, 2016.
2016. Can you tell me about what are the circumstances about that? I've got two brand new grandbabies. Brian's got a new baby too. So can you tell us kind of what happened in this incident?
Well, I went to sleep that night, and I decided I was going to breastfeed him before I went to sleep so he'd sleep better. And I fell asleep with him in the bed with us.
Mm-hmm.
And he was fine when my husband woke up that morning. My husband came to wake me up an hour later, and he just started screaming, told me to get the baby, and he was blue halfway down his body.
So this was in 2016,
Actually, 2017.
2017. So this is something that's just happened. What can you tell? This is going to be shown to other new moms. What can you tell somebody about this incident that you could explain to them about this and what to do or what you've learned from this?
Well, the first thing I learned is breastfeeding makes you very sleepy. It obviously is just a fact, but when you breastfeed, make sure you're sitting up and not like leaning back, and never ever put your baby in the bed with you, ever, under any circumstances. I was the mom that slept with both of my children before my son, and it was never a problem, but since this has happened, I've done research, and a lot of the infant deaths are from co-sleeping, about 74%.
Wow. So and that's something to take note of. You've got two other children. This was not your first baby, so this is something that you were not a new mom at all. So this is something that could happen to anybody that has had children before. You're saying this is something that could happen on the second or third one.
Yes, and that's what everybody tells me is, oh, I slept with my children before, oh, it's never going to happen to me. I say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I did too. I didn't listen when the doctors told me about safe sleeping habits, and I just figured my baby would be safest close to me,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not true. There wasn't even anything covering his airway. I wasn't on top of him. There weren't blankets on top of him. It was just from being in the bed and on his side.
Mm-hmm. What have you learned as far as other types of ways that you handle sleeping now, even with the children that you have now? Is there certain procedures that you're going through now as far as putting them to bed?
Well, my daughter sleeps in her own bed. She's got a toddler bed. My son is in the bed with us, but he's over a year old, which is when the risk of SIDS drops dramatically. And but we do make sure that there's no covers or pillows around him. He sleeps just on the bare mattress. And I'm expecting another son soon, and we have a crib for him. And no loose blankets, just a fitted sheet and a swaddler. So there's not going to be any toys, pillows, or anything in the crib with him.
That's something you mentioned is what you have in the crib. Besides the way you put the baby down, there's a lot to be said with what's in the crib with the baby. Is that correct?
Yes. SIDS is actually called crib death because a lot of babies die in the crib. Most of them actually die in the bed because most parents choose to go to sleep. But in the crib, they're not safe too as long as you don't have something to keep them from rolling over. They can't be on their stomachs, they need to be on their backs. And there doesn't need to be anything loose that could get in front of their face and block their airway.
Is there anything else that I missed that you might want to mention that I didn't bring up, or a question that you think needs to be addressed?
Don't put bumpers in the crib bumpers. Those are bad, very bad.
So for people that are getting, everybody's getting brand new baby furniture, and some of that furniture includes what you're talking about is little pads or things that go around the inside. Talk about that.
We'll see if your baby does roll over, which I prefer to use the little, it's like round shaped things to keep the baby sitting in one spot. But if you don't use those and your baby rolls over and gets caught, and his face is caught in that bumper, he's not going to make it. Even just sleeping on their side can make them suffocate because they can't breathe on their own that well yet. And your baby's life is not worth it, I mean, I know you want to be close to your child. I want to be close to mine. I slept with both of mine from the time I brought them home. But it's not worth it. It's not worth risking your baby's life. My caseworker told me it's like sleeping with a loaded gun next to a baby's head.
Wow. That's another thing to get into is things have changed probably since I've had kids for sure, but not putting them on their stomach, we've heard about that. Is that something that you're practicing as well as how you put a baby down? What's the proper way to do that?
Always put them on their backs. They cannot sleep on their sides and they cannot sleep on their stomachs because they will have trouble. They'll breathe in their own carbon monoxide and they'll suffocate. My son was on his side, and when we found him, he was blue down half of his body, only one half, from where he was on his side and lost oxygen and all of it pulled to that side.
So, this will be shown to other young mothers, and I guess the hopes are that what you've experienced sadly is going to be a help to them. We appreciate you coming in.
I really hope so, because ever since he's passed away, I want to give my son's death meaning. I don't want it to have passed away for nothing. I want to save somebody else's baby's life since my son had to go through this.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
One of the things that I discovered by doing 2 child death reviews in the last few months, one in Escambia County and one in Mobile, is that many of the mothers who sleep with their babies, their head tells them that's not safe. I've been taught that. But because of the mother's own adverse child experiences, she wants the baby close for 2 reasons. One, she thinks the baby is safe right here, but she also wants someone to love her. And she wants the touch or the comfort of her newborn because she wants that baby to love her. And the sad thing is, those women are the ones, when they lose their baby, to suffer even more.
Exactly.
Nothing worse than I can think of than losing your baby.
Oh, I can't, there's nothing that falls in that category. But I thank you very much for bringing our attention to this, and we'll be looking forward to some other things that people in our area can focus on for health and to stay healthier and to keep our children safe too. And again, these are materials that are available for you. If you'd like to read something about it, the hospital can help you with these materials, and also the health department. So give us a call here at City Hall if you'd like to as well. We'll be glad to talk with you about it and put you in contact with somebody who could give you some more education about it. Look forward to talking more health issues with you coming up. Thank you so much.